India's GDP is currently the sixth largest in the world. It is growing faster than almost any other major economy. And yet, in a span of just 1 week, India got bumped out of the top 5 stock markets, falling behind the two countries which are not even among the top 10 economies of the world. First Taiwan and then South Korea. The reason behind this shift tells us something very important, not just about India's stock market, but about where global capital is flowing and why. As of June 2026, the combined market capitalization of all Korean listed companies has surged an extraordinary 86% this year alone, with massive 12-month gains approaching over 110%, touching $5 trillion market cap. Taiwan's stock market has also surged, up roughly 50% this year to about $5.15 trillion. This makes them two of the best performing major markets globally. Meanwhile, India has seen its total stock market cap slip to approximately $4.8 trillion. According to Money Control, the Sensex and Nifty has fallen 12% and 15% respectively so far in 2026, with underperformance stretching back to late September 2024, amid stretched valuations, subdued earnings, and relentless foreign investor selling. Foreign portfolio investors have been net sellers in equities in most months this year, with total outflow hitting around Rs 2.3 lakh crores. And the pain for India deepened after the Iran war, which drove crude oil prices above $100 per barrel, fanning inflation and straining India's trade balance and the rupee. Then, India also lagged AI-linked or semiconductor stocks, which is basically the reason why Taiwan and South Korea have been booming. The single biggest driver of this market shift and rally is the global artificial intelligence build-out and semiconductor push. And it's being primarily driven by three companies, TSMC in Taiwan and Samsung and SK Hynix in South Korea. Billions of dollars are being pumped into AI infrastructure, data centers, servers, supercomputers, and cloud platforms. And every single one of these systems needs advanced chips, the kind that only a handful of companies in the world can make. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or the TSMC, makes the most advanced chips on the planet. Apple's chips are made by TSMC, Nvidia's AI chips are made by TSMC. So, TSMC, which has seen a record 50% rally now, makes up to 40% of Taiwan's entire benchmark index, the TAIEX. South Korea's rise, while similar, is powered by two major companies, Samsung and SK Hynix. Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix are the two dominant suppliers of HBM, or high bandwidth memory, which is the specific kind of memory that AI chips need to function. These two companies now account for over 42% of South Korea's benchmark KOSPI index. The KOSPI is up nearly 90% in 2026, which, to put that in perspective, is one of the most dramatic stock market rallies of any other major economy in recent history. South Korea has also helped itself by implementing structural market reforms, making it easier for foreign investors to participate. South Korea and Taiwan reached the top by a route India may have missed, or rather late in taking. India's largest technology companies such as Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, Wipro, and HCL Technologies are services firms that deploy AI for clients rather than develop AI hardware. The semiconductor chips, processors needed by major tech giants, which are mainly driving the current boom, are not made by any large Indian listed company. The structural absence has coincided with a difficult period for Indian markets due to war, FPI outflows, rupee depreciation, and trade tariffs. But India is not sitting still. The government has announced semiconductor manufacturing and data center incentives. India had 13 approved semiconductor projects operational or under development as of May 18th. And Tata Electronics signed an agreement with Dutch equipment maker ASML in May 2026 to support a planned front-end fabrication plant in Gujarat, backed by an estimated $11 billion investment. What India does have going for it is a massive domestic economy, a young population, and a consumption story that is genuinely multi-decade in its scope. India's market correction in relative terms is not a verdict on India's economy. It's just a signal as to where the country needs to focus on more. Taiwan and South Korea overtook India not because India's economy is weak, but because AI happened. The biggest capital allocation event of this decade landed squarely in the laps of countries that manufacture the hardware behind artificial intelligence. India, for all its strength, does not yet play in that game. But the game is not yet over. The next few years will be about recognizing what kind of growth and whether your listed companies are positioned at the center of the world's most powerful technological transformation.